Hello, welcome to the Life Clough podcast, and this is the first for 2024. Today we are talking about the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. My name is Jillian Formentin and I'm an Engineering Director at Clough. Clough is one of Australia's premier engineering and construction companies and part of the WeBuild Group. Today I am introducing you to two very special kinds of science professionals, engineers. So our first guest today is Adriana Cullen. Adriana is a senior electrical engineer here at Clough. And our other guest is Breanna Pinnelli. And Breanna is a Clough scholar and intern at Clough, and she's studying towards her Bachelor of Mechanical Engineering and Commerce at UWA. So I'd like to welcome both of you to the podcast. You can tell I'm a bit excited. I'm always excited about talking to our engineering professionals here at Clough.
Oh, thanks, Jillian. My name's Adriana, as you have heard already. I am a senior electrical engineer here at Clough. Been here for a couple of years now, and I've recently been granted my fellowship with Engineers Australia, so I'm pretty proud of that. And I just love working here. I love working with all the engineers around me, and I love being part of their mentorship group where I can be.
Great. Well, thank you, and thank you for sharing your experience in this podcast today, because I think it's going to be very valuable.
No problem.
Brianna, so maybe tell us a bit about yourself and what's your role been at Clough so far?
Firstly, thank you for having me today on the podcast. I've been at Clough for 2 years as an intern and Clough scholar. So I started just before starting my degree, fresh out of high school, excited about engineering, and currently working full-time in the summer break between union semester and the next one starting. Day to day, I'd say I love to assist the senior engineers with their work on different projects that Clough provides.
Great, well thank you. And I know as part of being an intern, you really don't know anything to start with, particularly in the case of our Clough scholars, because you're fresh out of high school. Thank you for being in there and working it all out as you go. All right, well, I've got a few questions that we're going to engage in together. I mean, the opportunity here is to get a kind of a picture of what it is like at the various stages of being an engineer in an organisation like Clough, but there's also an opportunity to explore some of the things that we really value personally as well. So the first thing, maybe a question for you, you first, Adriana. What changes have you seen in the industry over your career regarding gender diversity and inclusion?
Honestly, it's changed so much since I first came out of uni. I think nowadays it's a different feel. There's a lot more push for it. More girls are getting interested in it, and I love actually talking to girls nowadays and them getting excited about this. What we do, and if they know what an engineer does, I think it just creates that want to do it.
Oh, that's great. And so I'm a few years older than you, I think. And I love to hear about the changes, because it's, it's come a long way. And
yes.
I'm hoping what Breanna's going to share with us is validates that picture and things have moved on. But Breanna, what changes have you seen in your much shorter career so far, but what have you seen with regards to gender diversity and inclusion?
I think Clough is really great for an inclusive workplace culture, which means something's going right for sure. During school, we were always encouraged to do the STEM subjects, and never had any doubt that it wasn't the right choice to make. At work, I feel included. I don't feel isolated at all. And I don't feel different because of my gender.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, that is really good to hear. I guess I certainly had to fight for my right. It was like we had to create a permission for ourselves. And one of my commitments when I was your age, even Breanna, was that young people of any orientation would not have to fight for permission for what is a magnificent career. So that's thrilling that things are going in the right direction. That makes me really happy. So, Andrew, I've got a few separate questions for each of you now. Okay, so Adriana, could you share some of the Clough's initiatives that support women and girls in their professional growth? Because also you're the spokesperson for our engineering women at Clough, which I really appreciate your partnership in that. I think that's really extraordinary. But what's some of the initiatives that support women and girls' professional growth and development in STEM here?
Clough does such a great job. They have so many policies here, catered for everyone, but really very supportive of women. There's policies in place for flexible working arrangements, maternal and parental leave. They promote the importance of training young women as interns and graduates through their intern programs and graduate programs. I think that's great. And they provide mentorship with, senior females to support the unique challenges we sometimes face, as opposed to our male counterparts. Clough is also involved in numerous programs. I think it's CEOs for Gender Equality, a Girls Engineering program, which I was actually part of, and really happy to have been a mentor for that.
The Curtin program.
The Curtin program, yeah. And it just provides that support there for not only the start of your career, but all the way through.
Yeah, I can hear what you're saying too, like the building the capability, making sure that we've got the opportunity
Absolutely.
for all of us. Because I think one of the things that I'm most proud of, we are quite we've got quite a big stance with regard to gender equity through Clough, but it makes a difference to all our professionals because it's been many studies showed that if you make life great for women, you make it great for men as well. So there's an opportunity for everyone to thrive. And thank you. So, Breanna, as someone who's, again, quite new, although not new to Clough, you've been here nearly as long as I have.
I think she has.
Yeah, me too. And what learnings would you highlight as most valuable in your internship at Clough? What are some of the things that you would say, these are the most valuable things I've learnt so far?
I'd say probably being able to be part of projects in that it extends beyond what I'm seeing at during my degree. And as well as when I'm finding that Clough is able to I'm finding that when I'm running into difficulty in my uni studies, I can speak to engineers who have been there and ask for advice. Probably the most powerful thing I've learned is that you shouldn't be afraid to ask, which is maybe not an engineering learning, but definitely working here has helped me realise that sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone, and people are more than happy to help, especially the team around us here at Clough. I just feel really comfortable to speak up and supported.
Great.
Yeah.
Great answer. That's really good. Thank you. Adriana, now you mentioned a bit before about, like the bigger life you have, because we're not just engineers, we're whole people with big lives. Would you share about how being an engineer has enriched your life generally?
Yeah, for sure. Look, it definitely provides an avenue for me to that side of myself. It's one thing to have, sometimes it's funny because I look at myself and almost have these different lives. At home I'm a mum, or I'm a wife, or a friend, or but then the engineering for me, that for me, I really enjoy that stimulus I get. I love problem solving, and for me that's important, and that's part of my identity and who I am. It also gives me a lot of freedom. Being an engineer, I feel like there's lots of opportunities out there, whether it's travel or whether it's, and especially being an electrical engineer, there's lots of different fields I can actually go into, and that I think is just great. And it also shows my children as well that you put in the hard work, you can really do anything you want. Nothing, I was never top of my class, I'm not this genius. I just worked hard. That was it.
It's great. I reckon that's the best kind of role model, someone who's willing to say what they want and work towards it, and have it enrich your life. So it's I certainly experienced having many more choices as someone who's done that work and have the opportunities. I've had a number of career chapters, you could say, quite different parts. Some of them even a little outside of engineering to really express different things that I've been committed to. But what I want when I talk to young people about career choices and recommend engineering, it's mostly to give people the biggest set of choices for our lives, because we've got, I don't know, maybe 100 years if we're lucky, who knows, right? And to have the biggest set of choices and be able to enrich people's lives. And I love what you said about your children, like that you're being such a role model for them, like they must be growing up knowing they can do anything, which is what we want for our kids.
I hope so.
So Breanna, as a young professional, and really, I keep saying entering, been here a while now, but you're really entering the workforce. What advice would you give to others as either aspiring to follow a similar path or maybe kind of testing it out and wondering whether it's safe for them? Like, what advice would you give them?
Firstly, be a sponge, which I guess is a funny analogy, but absorbing as much information around you. From a work perspective, probably something I didn't know, actually I learned through the Clough Open Day, was internships and work placement. It's not spoken about at school, so I think it's something great that Clough does so early on. Being able to work at the same time as your degree, I think it's probably the most beneficial, but also on a personal level, having an open mind. It's difficult choosing your degree at such a young age. You're in school, you don't really know who you are, and you're going, oh, okay, I'm interested in maths, I'm interested in science. Hopefully this is the right choice. And working here has helped realise that my goal of becoming an engineer is definitely one I want to achieve. And I think for other aspiring students that working would be a great idea. And also being open-minded to trying whatever, because engineering, as you both have said, is such a diverse degree that there's so many opportunities, particularly in WA and Australia, where we're at with this industry just booming.
It really is, isn't it? We need more and more people like us.
Yep.
I feel like I don't know where my career will end up. Right now, I'm loving it, but really excited for the future.
Oh, very good. No, that's really great. And I kind of reflecting a bit as you were speaking there, Breanna, like the opportunities that kind of open up for people, because it is scary. Like this, I mean, when I was at high school, which is an undisclosed number of years ago, I had a range of choices, but nowhere near as many as you did. And it can be overwhelming. And I think my advice would include for people it was important for me to have freedom and independence, so I wanted to keep my options open, which is why I chose mechanical engineering. I think I had a few conversations with you, Breanna, that kind of encourages. Sorry, Adriana.
Did.
but the opportunity, particularly when people it's like, well, I want to have a big life, I want to be independent, I want to earn good money. Let's just say it, right? I want to travel internationally. I want to do whatever I want to do with my life and have all those choices. An engineering degree and an engineering experience can provide a foundation for really anything, and I'm really proud to be working alongside people who have embraced that and are expressing themselves as engineers. And then the other thing I just wanted to point out, what you said to Breanna, and a bit that I know about you as well, like I think advice for young people is to just show up, and this, when you do the same, Adriana, when we say, hey, there's this opportunity, there's this project, like say yes and then show up. I reckon if I ever wrote a book about my experience, it would probably be called Just Show Up, because you get so much out of just having the courage to do that, and a whole lot of other things work themselves out, sort of, but they also work themselves out in teamwork. Everybody's actually out to have you be successful, even when it feels like people are against you. They actually want you to be successful, and we aren't in it by ourselves. We always have that opportunity to work alongside and learn from others. Adriana, what would be your view? A little bit further down the track than Breanna.
Just a little, yeah.
But as someone who's walked the path a little longer, what would be your advice to people that are starting out or considering starting out in a STEM career?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely love that be a sponge thing, especially when you're younger. Do your research, talk to people. You go to functions, find out what they do, explore your options. You definitely get more out of life if you just ask the questions you want to ask. Don't be afraid. Have a go. Don't limit yourself,
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? Well, Adriana, we'll stay with you for this next question as well. When you look out at the future, what excites you most about the future for all of us generally, but also for women in STEM now, given you've been in the business for a while? What excites you most?
I think just seeing more and more engineers just being engineers, not male, not female, all different types of people coming together, solving the world's issues at the moment, because there's so many at the moment and we need that. So I'm actually excited to see what's going to happen, where are we going to go, what are we going to come up with, all the new challenges that we're going to face. And I think we've got the best chance now if we just keep going the way we're going with inclusion. So I think that's what I'm excited to see.
Very good. And I think too, like from the view of like where Clough is, like where we're really expanding in Australia particularly at the moment, but we build globally, the projects that are on the horizon, or actually in the middle, like there's energy projects, there's some of these projects will be part of solving the world energy crisis and our sustainability goals. We have infrastructure projects for moving people safely around the planet. We have some beautiful projects which involve road and rail. We've got marine issues that we're dealing with. I mean, engineers are part of the solution for all of that, and we need everyone. What about for you, Breanna? What excites you most?
I'm excited by the unknown, not knowing completely what my future does look like.
The adventure of it.
Yeah, that's there's a bit of a adrenaline rush when thinking about that. I'm excited by the diverse perspectives that women bring to the table for science, and also just how everything will change around us. Because if you think about the last 10 years and how technology is so rapidly advanced, this new intake of the new generation of engineers coming through at uni and heading to uni will completely change it once again. So I'm excited to be a part of that change, for sure.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Adriana, fellow Engineers Australia.
Thank you, Jillian.
Senior electrical engineer. And Breanna, at the exciting edge of your career. I'm really going to love watching your career unfold. And thank you for everyone for joining us today. You've been listening to the Life at Clough podcast, the first for 2024. And we are having this conversation particularly in honour of International Day of Women and Girls in Science. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to our next conversation in the future, bringing other facets of the Clough life. Thank you.